This is our last day of week in geometry where we are talking about volume. Now, volume is the amount of space an object takes up, so we'll start with that. An object takes up. So how much space does an object take up? That's what we're measuring with volume. Now, volume, we usually talk about three-dimensional shapes, but the way that we can imagine that is starting off with a two-dimensional shape. Let's say we've got a square right here. That's 3 inches by 3 inches. So let's say we started off with that square. And we know that the area of this square is the base times the height. So we know it's 9 inches squared. So that's a two-dimensional shape. We know how to find area of that. But now imagine that this two-dimensional shape is extended a little bit so that it makes a three-dimensional shape that looks like this. We call that a rectangular prism. And let's say the length that was extended was 10 inches. If we want to find the volume of this new three-dimensional shape that we've made, we can take the area of our original shape, which was 9 inches squared, and multiply it times whatever the length it was extended. So in this case, that would be 9 inches squared times 10 inches, which equals 90 inches cubed. We always use cubed when we're talking about volume. So to find the volume of any shape, we can follow the same basic formula. The volume equals the area of the original shape, but sometimes we call this the base. We call it the base of a 3D shape. So area of the base times the length that it was extended, or sometimes we call that the height or the length extended. There we go. So the main formula for volume, that's going to be the most important thing that we need to use on this assignment, is that we can find it by first solving the area of that original shape that we call the base. Ours was 9 inches squared. And then multiplying that times the height or the length that it was extended. So let's go ahead and do one example problem. I'm going to skip number 1 because we've already done a shape that looks similar to this. I want to do this triangular prism. So I know the first thing I need is the area of the base. Let's see, I'm imagining that the original shape that we started with was probably this triangle right here. And if we started with this triangle, I'm imagining then that we added those lines to make that a little bit longer. But the first thing we need to do is find the area of this original shape, or the base of the shape. So for that, it would be 8 times 6, which equals 48. But because this is a triangle, we need to divide that by 2, which equals 24, and that would be meters squared. Now remember, we only divide by 2 when it's a triangle. We didn't have to divide by 2 on this one to find the area, just for triangles, because it's half of a rectangle. So we've got the area of our base shape. Now we need to multiply times the height, or the length that it was extended, which in this case is 12 meters. And when you multiply that, you get 288 meters cubed. So now we've got 2 examples here of how to find volume, but we use the same basic formula of volume equals area of the base times the height or the length that it was extended.